Welcome to the shop at First Sword Armory. Today I'm going to show you how to install wall cases. Be it a standard wall case or a jewelry wall case, they all install in the same manner. So stay tuned and we'll show you how it's done. Now to prep your case for installation, first thing I'm going to do is remove the door from the case. Taking out these 4 screws that hold your hinges to the door and then set that aside. Next thing, determine your height. In this case, I'm going to set this a little lower than normal. Set the height of the case at 68 inches. That'll be my finish height. Then take your stud finder and determine the location of the inside edges of your studs. Once you have the inside located, double checking to make sure you have roughly 16 inches on center here, 15 and a half, 16. We're in that range. You can also tap the wall, sounding hollow. It starts to sound more solid. That'll kind of verify that you're in between the studs. Then you can take your drywall saw. Don't plunge straight in, plunge in at an angle. That way you clear the drywall and you're looking to hit that stud. Keeping your saw at a slight angle. Right now I'm right against the stud, so I'll tip it slightly until I stop about 1/8 of an inch from where I think that stud is going to hit the drywall. Do the same thing on the other side. And get a measurement. Looks like the case is going to fit in there just fine. So I'll take a mark just outside that, roughly 1/8 of an inch. Then you want to take and line the top of your case up on your finish mark. Find the mark that's just barely outside your cut for locating your studs. And take a torpedo level, or any kind of level. Torpedoes are just quick and easy to handle. Tip your case whichever direction you need to get it perfectly level. Check your marks. Once you have the case leveled, draw a line. Once you have that drawn, take your knife and a rigid straight edge, and what you want to do, line that up directly in the center of your pencil mark. Now that center of the pencil mark being on the outside edge of your case should give you a slight bit of space to fit your case in. And what you want to do is put good pressure on that straight edge and make a cut straight in, applying light pressure initially to get your first score done. And each time you score, you want to put a little more pressure on it until you've gotten through the paper face on that drywall. Once you have that scored, and before you start your cut, put a screw in the middle. You're going to want to have that so you can handle that piece after you've cut it out. Taking your drywall saw, doesn't matter where you start. You want to start with the Drywall saw not straight into the wall, but slightly angled the point of the drywall saw out a little bit wider. That way the back of your cut is wider than the front. It'll create less drag when you go to install the case. You want to cut carefully right along your score. As you can see here, the inside edge is furred up a little bit, but the outside edge, where it was knife cut, is nice and smooth with no chips in the paint or the texture. Now remember, this has been scored, so it's going to want to break. So hold on to that screwdriver, or hold on to that screw, and work your drywall saw into it. And remove the piece. As you can see, we have electrical back here that runs to the outlet down by the floor. Now you lightly pull on that to see if you have any slack, which we do. You can kind of twist that wire so that it will lay flat once the case is pushed in. Now the next thing, you want to make sure that your hinges are folded out in that manner. If they're not folded out, then you could lose the box down inside the wall. Now, these are designed with this thickness, that way if you do have insulation in this wall, for example, you're putting it into an exterior wall, all you have to do is press into the insulation. But you want to test fit that as you press it into that insulation. If it doesn't go in quite as far as you need to without a lot of pressure, you're going to want to take and kind of score your insulation here and then take out a small layer. And keep doing that until you can press the box or the case into the wall all the way until it's flush. Once again, when you get to this point, this is why you want those hinges out there again, because I've got a pretty nice tight slot here. So if you hit it too hard or tap it in too hard, or actually the hole is too big, and you go to push your case into place, these will not allow it to fall into the wall. So make sure those are out. You want to have this edge of the case itself even with or flush with the wall. Whoops. There we go. And once that's done, take the provided 1 5/8 drywall screws, start those into the holes, and you can use a hand Phillips screwdriver, or in this case I'm going to cheat and use a battery impact to run these. You want to start with the hinge side once again, ensuring that it's flush. Start the screw in nice and straight, slowly, starting on your hinge side. I'm going to get it close. Not going to snug it down all the way quite yet. Once I've got those real close, check again. Make sure everything's setting good. And snug your screws down. Just snug. Once those are snug, Final step is placing your door back on. Once those are snug down, there's your wall case. Intended to just look like a wall hanging. And no one will ever know what you've got in there. Reminder to open your case. That's why you put the top edge above eye level. Run your finger across the top until you feel a variation there, indentation. Push it in and open your case.